Good evening. This is Dee, and this is Critical Break. And it is a super beautiful day where I live. It is a rainy Sunday evening. It started out really nice. We got a break in the weather, so those negative temperatures are bye-bye. And yay, looks like spring has sprung. Good evening, Miss Tawny. Great to see you. Um, I hope your Sunday was nice. Mine's been pretty relaxed for the most part. Anyway, I have, good evening, Sir Steve. I have several things I'm going to cover tonight, but hopefully it won't be terribly long. I think the longest part will probably be some older photographs I took. Oh gosh, some of them back in 2012, 2013. Paranormal stuff, mostly. The orbs in particular. But yeah, I've been photographing those since, well, 2004, actively seeking photographs. Now I've gotten them, prior to that, but seeking them, yeah. It's a really amazing experience if you get a chance to basically play with the paranormal, which I did a lot of, because let's face it, most of us see things that not everybody notices. And I don't know if that's because they're around us more because of our energy, or if we just are more hyper aware and notice it. But yeah, they're there for sure. It's a thing. Anyway, I was going to talk about some things that happened this week. I'm kind of saving Sundays for catch up and kind of updates on what's going on around here. The Mandela effect. Still trying to figure that out because I think there's more than one thing maybe going on. One thing I think is we're actually manifesting. The other thing is I think that there is possibly some timeline confusion going on. What's causing that specifically is up for debate. I've thought about it a lot, and I don't have any definitive answers on that part, but there's a lot of speculation on D-Wave computers and all kinds of things. And then people talk about AI and yeah. So, and CERN, of course, that's one of the big ones because they do talk about punching holes through into other dimensions, basically. So could that mess with our timelines? Possible. I think that's likely. One thing I can say that the appearance of, I don't know, I know in photography you have bugs, rain, moisture, humidity of any kind, all kinds of things that can create orbs. but there are orbs that aren't explained by those things. There's also another thing that that I see on a regular basis, and that's interdimensionals. Interdimensionals, there's several kinds. There's some that basically bleed through or press through into our area, and I think the veil, basically, that's what they call it. It feels to me like a curtain because the dimensions, I think, are basically stacked right on top of each other. And I think that they kind of push through, like pushing through a piece of fabric. And if it's thin, we see them. That explains shadow people. Um, and it also explains uh, spirits and people getting communication in that manner. There's a lot more to it than that, though. Um, on top of the photography I've done thousands and thousands of hours of research in paranormal with EVPs, my own and others. And the thing that strikes me as I've watched others research as well on top of my own, such as Peggy Kane. And if you want to look her up, her last name spelled with a K, Kane. Her work backs up a lot of the work that I did as far as she works with reverse EVP. And I also have a friend that's working with reverse speech. You might check his channel out. I need to look at his channel and give you guys the exact name because he's changed it a time or two, and I don't know if it's the same. It used to be Kayakless, but I'm not sure what it is right now. But I'll put a link in the description so you guys can check out his work. He's doing a lot of reverse speech on politicians, particularly. And some Hollywood people and stuff, but mostly the politicians. And what you hear is fascinating. Now, one thing that came to mind for me with reverse speech is I wonder if it's happening in other languages, not just English. And it'd be interesting if somebody is bilingual and is aware of that and knows someone that does reverse speech in other languages. I'd really love it if you would contact me, and that's criticalbreak@outlook.com, because I have a theory and I want to find out if that theory is right. Like I said, I continue to research. But with reverse speech and reversing EVPs, you get some things that will raise your eyebrows and go, what on earth is going on? With EVP work, you hear a lot of the spirits saying, we see heaven inside you. We see light inside you. And that's very common. They also ask for help a lot, like they're trapped. Um, they are basically. There's groups that go out and do sessions and they help release the spirits that are about that need help. And there seems to be entities that will pop into the situation and exert themselves and shut down communication. And I've heard many, 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 many EVP sessions where something comes in and the spirits that were talking prior won't talk anymore, or they will say something like, "We're not supposed to talk to you." Like there's some rule that they're not supposed to talk to us. And they're fearful. I think it's tied with the interdimensionals that are part of the system that got hijacked. There's a lot of speculation there, but just adding up 2 plus 2 pretty much after a lot of research. Peggy Kane's work came across the same thing. When she did the reverse EVP, she came up with some hair-raising stuff. And if it's right, we're dealing with a multidimensional issue here, not just this planet, but other dimensions. And I think what we do here has a ripple effect out into the dimensions and out into space, literally. But I wasn't even going to talk about that, but it just came up, so there it is. Anyway, the things we had happen this week. Let's see, the Mandela effect. We'll go back to the paranormal stuff in a little bit when I show you some old photographs because I wanted to share a week in photographs, what's going on around here, and plus show you some old stuff that never has been uploaded or seen before. So anyway, Mandela effects. I had a couple of them. The first one was when I first moved into the place I'm living now. My oven is smaller than my old oven, and my cookie sheet is a really big cookie sheet. Well, one of them, my favorite. And when I first moved in, I pulled the cookie sheet out when I was unpacking. I was like, oh, this is not going to fit in that oven. And I checked it, opened the oven, wouldn't work. And I thought, well, I'll put it in the cabinet and maybe I'll end up using it for something, hang on to it. And the cookie sheet fits in the oven now. It's like, was that manifesting or a Mandela effect? I don't know. The other thing was I had my DSL upgraded, and I swear the reason I upgraded it wasn't because of download speeds, it was because of upload speeds. And I swear that the upload speed was 6 megabyte. I remember pulling up the website, the internet speed test, checking it several times, swear it was 6 or nearly 6. It wasn't quite running 6, but almost. And then I noticed that my uploads were going really slow again. And I was like, what is going on? Because I was back to these, 4 to 6 hour uploads or longer. But I called the company that supplies my internet. And I'm like, what is going on? Why is my speed so slow? Well, you have 1.5 upload. And I'm like, a what? And it was just, I felt like a total idiot because I was insisting I had 6 megabyte upload. And I only have 1.5. Now, even my son remembers 6. So I don't know. But yeah, there's another one. I've also been having a lot of dreams lately. One in particular was kind of a validation dream. Um, it was interesting because it was another one of those really vivid ones where weather, smell, taste, all that stuff is there. Everything. It's not just a random frustration dream or anything like that. Um, this particular one was set in a town that I spent some time in as a teenager. And I was riding bikes with my sister, and we were going up a hill, and we were heading on a street east-west direction. The street ran east-west. The north side of the street had houses all along it. The south side there was a house down on one end that was vacant, and then a vacant lot all the way up to the stop sign. And then you had a north-south street running there that, was fairly heavily traveled. And I was at the stop sign, and I noticed a gang of kids on bikes to my east. And they were on the same street I was, just to my east and on the north side of the street. And one of the boys got really close to where I was because I had crossed the street. I'd turned and looked behind me and saw my sister. She was behind me about half a block. She was off her bike because it was a steep hill. And she was off her bike, walking it rest of the way up. And I was crossing the street. And as soon as I got across the street, one of the kids got really close. Good evening, Sir OR. Good to see you. But one of the kids got really close to me. And it was a gang of probably 8 kids. We were in this dream. I would say I was probably 14, 13, right in there, that age. About how old I was when I lived there. And the kids were ranging from about that age up to probably 19 or so, and boys, all boys, and a lot bigger. And the one kid that came up to me seemed aggressive, kind of. He was like, doing tricks on his bike, but getting really close. And he was saying something to me, but I didn't quite make out. Something about what you doing here or something like that. And I thought to myself, and I could see the others, because he was out ahead of them. And I could see the others coming, and I'm like, this might not be a good situation. I think I'll go back across the street, go back down the hill towards my sister, and get. So I got across the street, and he didn't follow immediately, but he waited for the rest of his friends to catch up with him and started following us. And I told my sister, go to the vacant house. I don't know exactly why, but I know when we got inside the house, I picked up, what do you call it? Stairs, a banister, the rails that, hold the banister up. It was an old abandoned house, and one of them was sitting on the floor. And I had picked that up because I was going to whop somebody as they came in that door. Anyway, a great big guy. He's probably the oldest of the bunch. He was pretty tall. He's probably anywhere from 6'2" to 6'4", somewhere in there. big guy, chunky, and he had, like I said, these are vivid. He had lots of acne, and his face was scarred up from, looked like these were street kids, basically. And the he came in, then a couple other kids came in right behind him. The rest of them must have stayed outside because it was just the three that were right there in front of me at the time. And he started saying, "We've got something to tell you." And I'm like, get ready for a fight, you know? And he started in saying, "We are angels. We've come here in human bodies." And I'm like, "You mean biosuits?" And he kept going with what he was going to say because he wasn't expecting me to know what he was talking about. And I'm like, "Did you hear me? You mean angels in biosuits, right?" And he stopped and looked shocked. And this one kid, kind of an Oriental kid, probably 5'8", jumps in front of me and said, "She's one of us." And then I woke up. And I'm like, okay, that was kind of a confirmation of kind of what we've been doing. So, yeah, there was that. And as soon as I woke up, I went outside, and there was a dove sitting on the line. And that was kind of interesting because the doves aren't here in the wintertime, they leave. And that's the first time I've seen one in a few months. And it was sitting on the line cooing. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. A mourning dove right after that. So I don't know. It was interesting. I did have another dream, but I'm not going to share that one because of the people it might affect if I did. So I'm not going to do that. But it was another one of those life crossroads. You need to evaluate sort of thing. So yeah, had a few things happen this week. Excuse me. But I was going to show you all some pictures. Yay, picture time. Let's see. I'm trying to decide what am I going to start with. I'll start with this week. So let me pull these up, and then I will yeah, share the screen so you guys can see them. Okay, here we go. All right. This, excuse me, this was this morning. Interesting sunrise. And there's been a lot of this going on recently. That is the first one. And then we have these interesting photos of clouds. And if you play with the contrast and things, I was going to kind of point something out. When you see clouds like these, I think dimensionally, and this gets into some of the interdimensional stuff going on. I have seen them play in the clouds. I am not the only one. And if you look, you can see a face here with horns. There's the eyes, nose, mouth. And then something that looks like the beginnings of a dragon head going on here. But it looks like it's got like a beak almost. This is not an impressive photograph. I have some, and I know of others that have some that are much more impressive than this one. But to say that there's, I mean, if you, there's a video done by some very talented remote viewers, and they were asked to remote view the war in heaven. And what they said corresponds with what myself and others have been photographing in the sky, which is interesting. Like I said, they can press through dimensionally, I think, and this, I think, kind of shows that. But excuse me, my throat is giving me trouble tonight. And there's just one more there. But I have other photos that are impressive. You see the totems that the Native Americans have. Those totems, where they got the idea to do those totems was from exactly this sort of thing going on in the sky, things, faces stacking. And I've got better photos than this one, but this right here kind of gives you an idea how they stack on each other. But I'll definitely pull up some older stuff that shows them doing exactly that, and you can definitely look at them and go, okay, I can see where the Native Americans got the idea for their totems. But that is that particular deal. I'll stop sharing for a minute and I will pull up a couple of videos for you. Let's see. Trying to remember which camera I did it on. I've got a few of them here. Let's see. Okay. This was yesterday. Okay, let me stop that. Stop. Let's see, does this one have anything I want to show you guys or not? It's basically a lot of the same thing. I will just show you today's stuff instead. Let me find that. Oh, I did have something really interesting happen today, which you will see on these videos here in just a second. Okay. Share screen. Okay. Now, the next thing I had happen, well, you'll see here in a sec. Can you hear the bird call?
Oh, he just flew right in front of me. Hello, pretty. Hello, pretty. Flew right in front of me and landed right there. Literally almost touched my leg. You can tell because the sun's in my eyes. But it flew right up to my leg and then went to the power line right above me. Okay, let me get the camera.
It was windy. I was trying to shield the microphone from the wind as much as I could. But yeah, that bluebird flew off that wire and flew right up in front of me, almost touched my leg, and then swooped up and hit the power line above me and landed. So yeah, weird things with birds. So anyway, yeah, they're a lot of fun, definitely. Anyway, I was going to share some of the old photos that I have that are really fascinating. Let's see. Yeah, he was a bluebird. Yeah. And that's been happening with me and bluebirds. Like I had one land right at my feet. Let me see if I can grab that picture for you actually of that bird, because I was doing photography of something complete, another set of birds, and all of a sudden this bluebird comes and lands right at my feet, and I took a picture, and I was using one of my big Canon cameras. Let me see if I can find him. Nope. That was in December, I know. I just have to find it. Oh yeah, this is the series, I believe. Yes. I was busy taking pictures of what I thought were crows at first. Turned out to be hawks. And this little guy, let me share screen again. This little guy popped up in front of me, flew down and landed right at my feet. And I had my long lens on my camera. And I pointed the camera down real quick so I could take a picture. But see, it's a bluebird. He was right at my feet. I pointed the camera down and there he was. So yeah, I have some interesting things happen with bluebirds. birds in general, but yeah, bluebirds lately. So, yeah, cute, right? So for some reason, they keep flying at, at my feet. I don't know what's going on with that. It's kinda, yeah, it's like, "Oh my gosh." What, I don't know why they're attracted to me and why they do that, but yeah. Okay, let's see. Now we're gonna work on some of the old stuff. Let's see. I'm gonna pull these up. I'll go back into share again. And I'm not gonna be able to see the chat while I'm doing that. So if you have any questions or anything, um, I'll try to randomly pull the share screen down so that I can check to see if you guys have any comments or questions or anything. But we'll get into some interesting photographs. Oh, that reminds me. Darn it. There was some old ones on that drive. Hold on. I will find them. There it is. From 2014. Let me find it. Here it is. Okay. These are on, I'm going to use a different program to pull these up than what I'll be using here in a minute. But here we go. Here goes some fun. Woo! This is above my old place where I used to live. And as you can see, there's some, a lot, not just some, a lot of extra elements going on here. I wish there we go. I hid that. I don't know if I'm going to be able to stop sharing now. We'll see. Okay. There's some more interesting elements. Some very large ones even. Not not much showed in that picture or that one. But look at that one. There's one there. Look at all of those. Look at that big one up by the tree. And you can tell some of these are like, that's way over by the tree. These aren't like right in front of the camera. These are, at varying distances. Some of these are like, this one's almost over this building here. There's one up there. And that is a big cottonwood tree. And as you can see, they're all hanging all around near it. One there. There's several. And you can see there's color to them. It's storming outside, so we might hear some thunder or lightning here in a minute. So just warning you guys. But interesting, huh? This is above my house. That is the moon. The rest of those are not stars. See the big one? There's one here too. You can barely see it, but that's the moon. Okay. Now we're going to look at all right. Now we're going to look at this. These are the old, those were old photographs. These are 2013. I turn up the brightness on that photo and look what pops up. That's not the moon. We're looking to the north now. The moon doesn't ever show up over there. Let me see if I can make that bigger. There's one here, a really big one. You can tell it's on the other side of that tree because the branches are in front of it. Here's another one over here. There's a small one here. This is the moon. That is not. Neither is that. Innocent picture above my rooftop. Nothing there. Just some stars way in the background. Some of these pictures, they show up and some of them they don't. Which is good because that proves it's not something on the lens. Oh, looky there. See those pop out? There, 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 there. Some down here near the grass. Doesn't look like I got anything on that one. Or not much anyway. You can see the date on these. This was April 20th, 2013. I don't see anything on that one. Nope. And that was just a picture of the sky. You can see stars. So yeah, nothing in that. What is this one? That's a picture of the moon. And my stomach's growling. Okay. What have we here? Are you seeing those okay? I don't even have to adjust to see those. If the lighting's just right, you don't have to adjust anything, they'll pop out. This is an orb that I'm really familiar with right here. Remember I mentioned that I woke up with one right above my head? That's the same one. I should pull that up on something where I can zoom in. Let's see, that's 5/16 of 2013. Oh yeah. I've got so many of them that there's the one in the parking lot again. This is a whole different day. See, this is September 1st of 2013. That's above my house. Look how big that one is. So the thing that I've noticed is the LED flashes on cameras are very good at picking them up. The other thing I've noticed is now I've seen this orb many times too. It's interesting because they will have weird little things that, like this little mark on this one, that little mark, I've seen that before. So I don't know if they're kind of like snowflakes and they have their own little marks or scars or patterns, but that one I've seen more than once. Haven't seen that photo in a long time. This is that big cottonwood tree. Look how big that one is. Keep in mind the moon's, this is looking west right here, and the moon's off to the south. So that is not the moon. And you can see there's a little red one. There's one right here. Another one here. Let's see, where was that one? Let's see, the one I want to look at, it's 5/16/2013. Okay. Okay. Anyway, let me see if I can pull that up on a different deal. Give me just a second and I'll try to find it. There it is. That way we can zoom up on that. Okay, share screen. Right there. That is the one I'm pretty sure is the same one that I had above my head when I woke up. It appears on a whole lot of different photographs, and it looks nothing in photographs like it looks in person. Nothing. I mean, except for the size and the basic overall color, which is mostly pink with some purple and some other colors, but mostly pink and purple. But in photographs, they don't look anything like they do if you see them with the naked eye. And I see little tiny orbs that are very small, look pretty much white for the most part. You'll see those dart around the house occasionally. And I have a feeling that those little small ones are actually animals, from what I can tell. But I wanted to share some of my old paranormal stuff with you. And these photographs are some of that. So anyway, stop with the pictures. But yeah, I've been doing this for a while, so quite a few years. And the paranormal always fascinated me because of the fact of being able to see and hear things that shouldn't be there, basically, but they are. And I wanted to share those with everybody and kind of update everybody on the week, the weird happenings around here with dreams and Mandela stuff, and me looking like an absolute idiot to the DSL company. It's like, what do you mean 6 megabytes? I swear it was 6. But anyway, that's all I got for you tonight. I'll discuss more down the road about the EVP work and stuff. But if you look at Peggy Kane and some interviews they did with her, that'll give you a really, really good idea of what it is that she was hearing, and that's what I was hearing, the same sort of thing. So, do we have a problem? Yeah, we have a problem, and it's multi-dimensional, and yeah. So there's that. Anyway, it's still raining, and it's nice and warm. Thank goodness. So I don't mind the rain. I don't mind rain anyway. I like watching storms. It's kind of another hobby of mine. But anyway, I hope you all have an amazing week ahead. And if you know anyone that has gifts or abilities, and we'll just look at the channel trailer that kind of says it all. But if they need to contact us and want to hang out in our chat room, we have a 24/7 chat room where we talk about everything under the sun, and we bounce information off of each other. And also, I think the energy that happens when we're together and talking is extremely positive, and I think it puts it out into the ether and creates and transmutes negative energy. I've also been working myself on meditating several times a day, on doing just that, transmuting negative energy into positive. The chat room's a lot of fun. We're all awkward. We know it. We're all weird. We love it. And it's just us. Everybody's very frank, and it's super pleasant. They're awesome people. But if you want to be involved in that chat room and involved in helping transmute negative energy into positive, send me an email at criticalbreak@outlook.com. And trying to think if there's anything else I need to tell you. Not that I can think of. Anyway, I love you guys from here to the stars, and we'll see you hopefully Tuesday evening. Anyway, take care. Have a good night.